Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Metis Balaska, and welcome to the stream. So, been a while since we've been back to this series, and I'll be honest, I do not remember where we left off, like at all. But yeah, I am planning to like make some other things into the Sunday slots. But I wanted to get back to this, because between like the celebration stream, the collab I did with Robin, and that one time I had to cancel. I had to cancel the Sunday stream altogether. I felt that I should get back to this game, especially since we're in the middle of a character's story. So let's get to it. Hopefully the game won't give us trouble starting. Because I don't know, this game's been kind of weird when it comes to starting up. And there it is. All right, exit Steam, enter Steam. Because for some reason, not only that works. This has to be a bug with the PC version that they have yet to fix. Because this is the only Arc System game this is the only Arc Systems Work game that does this, and it just did it again. It just stopped.
The following sponsors are Persona 4 Arena.
All right. Okay, so how do I load up a bookmark? Chapter 13. Oh, starting right off with a mirror match. Well, semi-mirror match, because shadows count as different characters in this game. And with a butt bump. I'm trying to... Nothing after scene in Nothing after scene in 13. We're actually almost at the end of Chie's story, apparently.
I won.
Having managed to calm my raging shadow, I turned back to the other two girls. I was able to protect them, right?
What was that all about? Oh yeah. I'm really sorry I doubted you.
Okay, so yes, we're pretty much at the reveal part. Rise-chan and I quickly explained what just happened to the shaken girl. How in this world, your repressed inner thoughts, your shadow separates from you. How it appears in the form of your other self and tries to all sorts of tricks to try and take the real person's place. Then again, in my case, I had experienced that once already, and I should have been okay, but it looks like I did it again.
So, the real cause of this was actually me. A shadow. A repressed self.
This is a kind of weakness of fighting game stories, because even if you're going into this fresh, yes, no, it's not. We know kind of what's going on because we know there's a basic sense of what's going on, but the story mode is like, how do the pieces fit together and how do the characters relate to each other?
I'm not surprised it hasn't registered. It is coming from left field for you.
I'm bad at explaining things, after all. That said, I do think the twist in the story mode that's kind of gonna come up is actually a legit good twist. If only someone smart like Naota-kun was here right now, she'd be able to explain things a whole lot better. In fact, I think Arc System Works is pretty good with working in their stories. But what's important isn't that this girl understands what happened. It's that I have to accept my shadow once more.
What the? I thought I eliminated any possibility of her heart breaking free. Did she not suffer enough? No. I did everything right.
The light suddenly dropped, plunging the room into darkness, and a voice echoes through the gloom. The voice, that's not my shadow. What in the world's going on?
Teddy?
I realized that the fake Teddy was suddenly standing in the room without us noticing him. Huh? Where'd my shadow go then?
I get it. She was pretending to be General Teddy this whole time. Am I right?
That's right.
Looks like you'll be alone forever. No one can understand you. Huh?
It might look like Teddy again, but that tone of voice and way of speaking are nothing like what Teddy would say. What he's saying is a bit weird too. Maybe he's not actually talking to me? Could he be talking about this other girl? What could this mean?
Put an end to this game. Are you still going to keep deluding yourself? Delude? Whoa, wait a sec. Aren't you supposed to be my shadow? No, that shadow, it's resonating with Miss President. What?
What a shocker.
I'll show you.
This turn of events is perplexing, but the fake Teddy smirks and snaps his fingers. Hey again!
I am a shadow. The true self.
No way. That's the other girl's face. That's her shadow?
No!
She cries out, apparently in shock over seeing that shadow. Overseeing that that the shadow has robotic limbs. What's going on?
Does this mean it was this girl's shadow all along? That's right. And like you just saw, I can distort people's appearances and words.
It distorted people's appearances and words? So was it just taking on Teddy's form this whole time? And she was making my friends say things that they didn't mean?
That other me just now.
That was this shadow too? The shadow smirked at the perplexed look on my face.
Why do you think I have such power? It's because I'm her and she's me. That's right. She's the real liar here. Don't be ridiculous. I didn't lie. Oh, please. Just look at me. I look exactly like you. That's not true.
The shadow draws cloak, making a point to show off her body. She has a mechanical body with large wing-like metallic parts jutting from her back. These wings turn into a giant axe that the shadow grabs from the air. The girl looks away, as if to try find a way out. I take this opportunity to speak up.
Don't worry. There's no need to be scared. That's just a twisted version of you. Shadows try to make the original person deny them. It'll be okay, but you need to calm down. A twisted version of her? She's the one that's twisted. You still refuse to remember? Look at me. And stop deluding yourself.
The shadow snaps her fingers. What's it going to turn into now? I brace myself for the shadow to change, but I don't expect what happens next. The shadow doesn't change, but the girl does. Her arms quickly change, right before before our eyes. Her hands turn pale and smooth, becoming something inhuman. In seconds, she's the same as her shadow.
Miss President's body? What is this? Another illusion?
I don't think so. I knew something was weird when I first sensed her. That girl isn't human.
No! No! Don't look at me!
She tries to hide her body from us, but she can't hide everything. The shadow sneers even more at the girl curls up on the floor, even spins the axe as if taunting her. Even though the shadow has the same face as her, seeing her wield such a giant chunk of metal so effortlessly only shows how monstrous she really is. The shadow brandishes the axe in her hands without hesitation. That's when... Oh, hi!
Kanji-kun!
Kanji-kun bursts in through the wall. Well, it looks more like he was thrown through it, and he isn't moving an inch.
You came to save us! Or not.
Kanji, always good times. It's no use, he's completely unconscious. A voice I've heard somewhere before comes from the other side of the new hole in the wall.
You must be Labris.
Hi!
You're that red cape guy from before.
Sure enough, the owner of that voice is the guy in the red cape. He steps into the room, brushing dust from his shoulders. Is he the one that blasted Kanji-kun in here? Then is he an enemy? I take a defensive stance, but he ignores me. Instead, he fixes his gaze on the girl and her shadow.
Another Lapras. Fine. I'll just calm them both down.
Yeah, for those who aren't familiar, Lapras is what's known as a anti-shadow suppression weapon. And they are androids that were a part of P3. One of our party members was one, and they are made specifically to fight shadows. And they were also kind of named. They also, like as far as I know, tend to be named after weapons. And like the one that joined us in P3 is Iga. It's named after the shield of Zeus, which is most commonly associated with Athena. And Lapras is a type of axe that's found in Crete. Or that was made in Crete, I should say. He smirks confidently as he raises his fists. Who's Lapras? Is that this girl's name? It seems like he knows who she is. Who is this guy? I assume that's where the to be continued would be.
Why are you after us?
We've come to take you in. Would it clear things up if I mentioned the name Kirijo?
The shadow glares hatefully at the guy in the cape. The red cape guy takes off his hood and glares back at Miss President and her shadow. What? What does he mean by taking her in?
No! I'll never go back there! Damn it! Get back here!
The girl suddenly runs out of the room, her shadow in hot pursuit. The guy in the red cape tries to follow, but he trips over Kanji, who's still on the floor. God damn it, Akihiko. Kanji mumbles something in his stupor. Akihiko, I would expect something like this from Junpei, not from you. The girl and her shadow are incredibly fast. They left just seconds ago, and I can't even see them anymore. The guy with the red cape stands up, annoyed, and clicks his tongue. He just has face planted, and he doesn't seem that bothered by it. Doesn't that hurt? But aside from that...
Who are you, really? What did you do to Kanji-kun?
We had a battle between men. Could you turn down a challenge for the title of strongest man?
Good God, Akihiko. Huh? What's he talking about? What the hell are you up to, Kanji-kun? I have so many questions to ask that I don't know where to begin. The guy turns his back to
I
me.
need to go after them. You're better off forgetting what you just saw.
Whoa, wait a sec. That's all very well for you to say, but... Hey, I said wait!
Without another word, he runs off. Talk about a one-sided conversation. Couldn't he have at least said his
This guy
name?
is so bizarre. I couldn't sense him approaching at all, and I can't track his presence now either.
Rise-chan bites her lip in frustration. She doesn't look well. She must have been concentrating hard this whole time. Of course, she's been under a lot of stress up until now. I need to let her rest a bit.
Rise-chan, take care of Kanji for me.
Huh? Are you going after him?
Time for a patting chase!
Of course. No way I can leave that red-cape weirdo or Miss President be.
I mean, that's really all this is. It's padding. That's really all this part is. It's padding. We're eventually going. We're going to land up here anyway, because this is where the next fight coming up is going to happen. If she can't pursue them with her persona, then I'll catch up to them on foot. The basics of police the basics of police investigation are in legwork, after all. I better be ready for when I catch up with you, Mr. Red Cape. After a bit of running around, I finally spot that conspicuous cape turning a corner in a hallway. Oh, right. This is just to set up the next battle. He's really fast. I could barely keep up with him, but thankfully the gym should be up ahead. Even though there's no way to be sure of that here. Good, I can take him on from here.
Hold it right there, Buster!
That said, this is still just padding. The guy stops to look back at me and frowns, but he doesn't attempt to run off again. Did he have a change of heart? I don't know what's going on, but I know I can catch up with him.
You're gonna tell me what's going on! Who is that Labrys girl? Is she really a machine? And why are you after her? What are you gonna do once you catch her?
What good would knowing that do you?
What?
I'm here on a certain mission. You could even call it a duty. My resolution is nothing like yours, based on curiosity.
I mean, to be fair, this is a battle that should happen in the story. Like our two freehand and as it were fighters clashing.
A duty?
He wraps his knuckles on the air behind him, and there's a sound. It seems like there's another invisible wall keeping him from going on.
Ridiculous Grand Prix is still going on.
What? Wait, you mean...
I quickly turn around to check the section, and I just come through. When I reach out my hand, I feel a wall. I feel a wall there. And to be fair, it is best that they meet each other with their real voices, rather than having the whole manipulation thing going on.
We're trapped. So, like, do we...
That's what you get for coming after me so recklessly. The rule that one opponent must be defeated is still in effect.
One of the tournament's rules: you can't leave if you don't fight and win. In other words, in order to keep following the girl, I have to fight this scary-looking dude. He slammed Kanji right through a wall. I'm sure this guy has to be a Persona user too. He said that he had come to take her in. I'm guessing he came through a TV on his own too. Do I have a chance of beating this guy? No, I can't doubt myself. I have to do this. I muster up all my courage and square off against him.
All right, I accept.
Huh. Why are you willing to go to such lengths to catch up to Labrys?
Labrys. So I guess that it's this Miss President's real name.
I don't know why. I just know that she was in pain. I don't know if my reasons are better or worse than yours, but I can't turn my back on her.
When I say that, his eyes get even more intense. I almost flinch, but I know that I can't look weak in front of this guy. I glare right... Excuse me? I glare right back at him. I've seen that look in people's eyes before. I've seen it in people acting with determination that never wavers. In the eyes of my friends, while we fought so hard all through last year. I can't look away from that strength of resolve. That's when his expression softens slightly, and he answers.
To answer your questions, what you saw was the 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris. She was given a heart so she could use a persona.
A weapon? Then she really is a robot. But she's so cute. And she even sounds like a normal girl.
Hey, I take offense that being an exception to the rule. I mean, look at me. I mean, I know I'm a goddess in a robot body, but still.
Oh, so that's what her lost memories were about. And since she has a heart, she has a shadow too.
She has a shadow? Do you mean the thing where there's 2 of her?
I nod and tell him about how this world works, especially about the shadows. I'm not great at explaining things, but I've already told Labris not too long ago. But I've already told Labris not too long ago, so I should know what to say. I hope. The guy in the cape listens quietly, nodding now and again, as if he understands everything I'm saying.
I get it now. The mastermind behind all this isn't Labris, but her shadow.
I think that's it anyway. She didn't have any memories and thought she was the student council president. But I wonder what's with this tournament. What could she have wished for to make this happen?
I have some suspicions about that.
Yeah, this is something I do like. While they did buff up Bakihiko to, let's be honest, some ridiculous degrees, because he was the only character that fit the bill. Well, he's not a muscle. Like I said in my P3P, in my P3P playthrough, one on the Temple Archives, he's not a musclehead. It's just that he sometimes has this problem where he doesn't think things through. How did Linkara explain this when he was talking about Booster Gold? He's an A to B thinker. At least that's what I think. His thought process is if A is the problem, you do B to solve it, which can be foolish, but not always.
Labris may have been forced to do some inhumane things while she was in development.
Oh yeah, we know all about that. Just check out my Labris playthrough on YouTube.
Her original circumstances may be related to the setup of this Grand Prix.
Then, this tournament is a reenactment of what Labris went through in her past?
Looks like you'll be alone forever. No one can understand you. I recall what the Shadow said. That's what Labris had been feeling all this time.
She wanted someone to understand how she felt. Is that it?
So that... excuse me. Sorry. So that's why she made people fight against her friends. Because she had to do it in her past. But still, nobody could understand her. That may have been what the Shadow was saying. I was doubting her too. I didn't even try to believe what she was saying. Even though my way of doing things wasn't great, I'm starting to get lost in my own thoughts. But the Cape Guy speaks up.
That's all I can tell you. If you still want to search for her, you'll have to defeat me to move on. What'll it be?
I search for the right words within me. I need to think it through before I say anything. I can see the strength in his eyes, waiting for me to say the right thing. I can't say I'm doing this just because.
Wish to make us go through what she went through. That means she wanted to be understood. She wanted someone to save her.
That's just your guess, though.
But if it's possible I'm right, then I can't abandon her. That's why I won't go back until I've saved her. Her heart is worth fighting for.
I'm looking straight into his eyes as I say this, and he smiles. But even though he's smiling, he seems a lot more menacing.
What's your name? Mine's Akihiko Sanada.
I'm Chie Satonaka, a third year at Yasagami High.
I like the fire in your eyes. Then let's fight, and see whose passion comes out on top.
Final. Fight!
Protect me, come on!
I'm not giving up. KO'd.
How am I doing so well all of a sudden? I think I remember getting the crap beat out of me with Chie before. And I took a very long break. Like practically a month. Look at that! The last save here is the 11th of December. It's been over a month since I last played this game. Whew! That was a hard fight, but
I won?
Looks like it.
I won. Akihiko-san stands up and quietly speaks to
Tell
me.
Chie, what are you gonna do when you get to Labris?
What will I do when I get to her? I need to answer this properly, too. Now that I've won, I can't half-ass anything.
Gonna apologize for saying such awful things to her. But that's not all. I want to talk to her. Really come to an understanding with her. Even if things are too painful for you to endure on your own, you can still overcome them if you have friends to help. I know that. And I want to show her that too. That's why I won't let her be alone.
It's not good. I wanted to be strong and straightforward, but my feelings got ahead of my brain, and I couldn't say it in the way I couldn't say it the way I wanted to. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but that's honestly how I feel. I stand there sheepishly, but Akihiko's expression softens and he smiles. It's not the same as the determined smile he had before. This is a kind one.
Remind me a little of my friends.
Your friends?
I'm sure you'll be able to do the right thing. Do what your heart tells you.
With that, he takes off his cape and sits on the ground. He hasn't said anything more, but I can tell what he means. Hurry up and go now in my place. That's what he's saying, right?
Thank you very much.
I thanked him before I realized what I was saying. I mean, Akihiko believed in me. Even though we just met, he was placing his faith in me. I may not be the best talker, but we communicated with our fists, and we've come to an understanding. Then all I can do now is run. My legs, my heart, everything feels light. I should be able to reach out to that girl now, for sure.
I finally made it back.
While I was on the way, Rise-chan contacted me. Lapras and his shadow seem to have returned to the announcement room together, which is why that was padding. I mean, it's still good padding because there was a fight. It was a fight that felt like it needed to happen at least once in the series, but it was still padding. It's kind of like Samurai Jack in a way. Samurai Jack had a lot of episodes that were padding, but they were still good padding. If they're together, then it most likely means that Lapras has been taken captive by the Shadow. If they're in the same place, then Akihiko and I were made to fight just to buy them time. Luckily, Rise-chan says that she's already escaped to a different run. She's complaining about how heavy Kanji-kun is. She carried Kanji. I mean, kudos to Rise on that. Kanji can't be liked. I guess he hasn't woken up yet. In any case, when I open the door, it'll be a one-on-one battle against the Shadow. I take a deep breath and open the door.
Miss Lapras? Are you here?
That man told you to come here, didn't he?
The moment I enter, a sharp voice calls out to me. I see the speaker standing alone in the center of the run. Is she the Shadow? No, this is Lapras herself. Of course, her shadow has to be watching from close by, too. I can't let my guard down.
I didn't. I came here because I wanted to.
You just want to capture me like all the others. Well...
Lapras reaches out for the battle axe attached to her back. I can see her in her eyes that she's serious about this.
I didn't come here to fight you.
I'm never going back there. I never want to get put through that again. I'm gonna run away. Just you watch me. If anyone gets in my way, I'll stop them all.
It's no use. She's not listening. She's completely worked up. It must be because of her past was so painful. But I need her to calm down right now. I brace myself for a fight and get ready.
I can't stop now. There's something I need you to know.
Finally! Fight!
Oh, seriously? No! Seriously? Don't count me out. Close! You're in trouble now. Give it up! Give it up! That was close! That was close! Give it up! Seriously? You're pretty good.
Don't let her charge up! Mistakes were made! But she didn't capitalize! I got her in the corner and she didn't manage to hit me. That could have gone way worse for me.
Why? Why won't anyone understand?
Lapras, I wanted to...
I kneel down and talk to Lapras, who's on the floor. The scenery beyond the glass wall begins to distort. This... Uh-huh. What is this? It's so horrifying that I almost fall backwards. These things shaped like people are hanging everywhere. There's a giant furnace-like object in the center, and more of the things crammed into it like trash. What in the world is this? Don't tell me, is this what Labras has kept hidden inside her heart? When I come back to my senses, I notice that Labras has appeared behind, that the shadow has appeared behind Labras.
Don't you get it? That'll never happen.
You!
Of course Chie-san's angry. You did lie to her after all. And wow, you didn't hesitate for a second to attack her. So you do want her to suffer then. You want to make her go through what you did, right?
That's not true!
You want the everyday boys and girls to experience what you had to go through, right? That's why we're in a school having a fighting tournament. You want to see close friends fight for their lives against each other. Because if they do that, then they might understand. You want to make them understand.
That ain't true!
Labras clutches her head. I try to reassure her, but nothing I say seems to reach her. It's like the shadow is the only voice she can hear. The shadow twists its mouth into a smile and continues whispering into Labras' ear.
It was all for nothing. It just left you more of an outcast than ever. It's all right, though. I'll take care of everything from here. I'll destroy anyone who doesn't understand you and comes to get in your way. Just like you once did.
Stop it! That's all a lie. Not me! Labras, no! You can't be me!
Finally! You finally said it! Now, I can be myself!
Yes! The power!
Big Bull! A shadow going berserk. No matter how many times I see it, it's still overwhelming. But now isn't the time to think about this stuff like this. Okay, I do have to kind of say this. I do think that this first story could have benefited a little more from a more condensed narrative structure. Like what they did with the episodes of the like what they did with the P4AU story. And that one is just like two different stories with like pretty good, pretty significant differences between them. Here, because every character has their own story. Yes, every character can be the main character, but it kind of suffered from having to hit the same or similar story beats a lot. Labras goes limp and falls. You gotta fix that one, Arc. Or rather, no, the people who localize the game. Falls to the floor, and I stand between her and the shadow to protect her.
Okay, just wait for me.
I'm exhausted from today's series of battles. The shadow has an immense power. And even worse, I'm all alone in this fight. It's unlike anything from last year. But I'm surprisingly confident in myself. Of course I'm nervous, but I have a strong resolve, and it makes up for my fear, any fear I might have. I mean, this is my wish after all. It's my dream too.
Protect you. If this is about wanting to protect someone, I damn well won't lose.
Wow! What the hell?
It's over.
I like to note that this game's on normal by the way. I did not change this, change the settings of this game. The shadow finally stops moving. I also sink to my knees as the tension drains out of me. But Lapras is safe. She's still trembling behind me, but at least she's not hurt. I was able to protect her, right?
Huh? Why did you protect me? Weren't you mad?
Yeah, I can't blame her for thinking that. I was really angry back then, after all. I didn't even try to understand what Lapras was feeling. But seeing Lapras with that blank look on her face is funny for some reason, and I can't help but laugh.
I wasn't mad at all. Actually, it's you who should be mad at me. I said so many awful things to you. I'm really sorry.
I mean, I can't remember anything, any of them, because it's been so long since I last played the game.
I could never be angry at you. I'm the one who did all those awful things.
Lapras looks over to the shadow. There is pain on her face. I wonder if she still can't completely accept her shadow. No, of course she can't. It's not something you can just accept without a lot of soul searching. She'd spent this whole time being tormented by what the shadow represented. Considering that Lapras seems like a serious person, she might be the type to think that everything is her responsibility. But that's not true. There's no need for her to bear this alone. I want to tell her that so badly right now.
About this Grand Prix. I mean, yeah, it was tough, but it wasn't all bad.
Huh?
It taught me a lot of important things.
My weakness, the ambiguity of the dream I embraced. And I also was able to remember again the fact that I'm not alone. Just as the shadow said, my weak self may never completely disappear. But I can face that. I mean, I have friends with me after all. I'm not alone. That's why I'll be alright. I'll overcome it no matter how many times I need to from now on.
I want to thank you. And your other self over there, too. I still don't know what kind of pain you've been through. So tell me about it. I want you to tell me everything, like how you feel and what you're thinking.
Tell you about myself?
Mm-hmm. I'll listen. If you have something that's too painful to bear alone, then let's work it out together.
Together? I'm not alone anymore?
I nod back to her. After hearing my words, Lapras finally looks up and looks to her other self. She's still trembling, but she isn't looking away anymore. I was so bad at explaining myself, but I think she understands what I was trying to say. Lapras stands up and walks towards her other self. I watch her as she walks over to the shadow, standing tall. Her posture tells me how she feels. It says, I'm alright now.
I'm sorry I ignored you all this time. I was the one who left you all alone. No. You are me, after all. is my persona.
Now that Labras has accepted herself, she turns towards me. That's when she finally smiles. It's a smile from the bottom of her heart that I can tell she's never shown to anyone before. It makes even my heart skip a beat. Man, this girl is really pretty. Do I need to make it more of a case that Chie, that I think Chie is bi? I take Labras with me, and we go to get everyone who has been trapped by the walls created by the tournament's rules. Since the real mastermind is gone, the invisible walls have disappeared, and everybody should be free now. We go around to each place. Yukun, Yosuke, Yukiko, and Teddy. Rise-chan brought Kanji, who had finally woken up. And even Naoto-kun showed up, and she shouldn't even be here. She told us that she just happened to be back in town because of the job she was doing. Eventually, we all got to the school's rooftop, but there's a big group. When we open the door to the rooftop area, we see something surprising. This isn't the rooftop at all. Rosotic, hi! Hey, thank you for the raid. How's your stream? What'd you play? Instead, the area before us was that studio-like place that we had used as the entrance area to the TV world during the case last year. It should have disappeared after that, but it looks like it got restored when Labras entered the TV world and the school was created. Shoo, once the Midnight Channel started airing again, people would start taking an interest, like last year. So maybe that's why this studio came back? Still, the investigation team is back together again. Stream was quite fine. I played the forest for a bit. Oh yeah, I've seen Markiplier. I've seen most Let's Players play that over the years, but mostly Markiplier at this point. Roralula. Welcome to the stream. Rizzo slept in the toilet, had a bedroom and ate mud for breakfast and poo for lunch. I wouldn't know if that's the thing you could do in the forest. I am speaking fact and truth. This would be the perfect time. I have eagle eyes. Labras was hiding behind me, and I reached around and shoved her in front of me towards my friends.
Someone to introduce to you guys. This here is Labras-chan.
Hello, Fiend. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, when I was in the process of revising my original model and creating this battle form, I wanted to have blows to it. And look, I have a tail in the back, and that also glows. And it's not as noticeable, but my eyes glow too. It's just to a much lesser degree than the rest of my model. I have someone to introduce to you guys. This here is Labras-chan.
Chie-san.
Yeah, I looked up how to do it, and I'm really glad because these gloves really help make the model. Good thing I ended the stream before the house was blasted of music. I told them that Labra is a victim of the events that took place here. And even then, she has an obviously mechanical, and even though she has an obviously mechanical body, her heart is that of a human. Her shadow had come out of her, and she was the one who masterminded the tournament. But Labras has accepted it, and everything's been solved. And everything else that I may be forgetting right here. This is the third time today that I have had to explain all this, so I think I've gotten plenty good at it. Labras looks anxious while I talk, but the first one to speak up after I'm done is Yukon. Where's my party buffet? I expected that much. He is our leader, after all.
That must have been tough. You feeling okay?
Huh?
Having a shadow come at you is pretty draining. Seriously, I was ready to collapse for a few days when it happened to me.
Oh yeah, speaking of, have a nice sleep, Lofi. Blazing Rhozotic. There we go. Shout out for Rizzo.
It's amazing that you're able to stand like that on your own.
Labras looks back between me and everyone else with utter surprise. No problem, Rizzo. No one minds Labras, and they keep trying to talk to her, all speaking at the same time.
Could it be because she's a mech? Wow! Isn't it cool for a mech like her to have a heart?
I can't think of any way it could be weirder than an idol, a detective, and a tame shadow. But here we are.
And I'd like to remind you, guys, they have yet to meet the dog.
I don't know. I think Teddy was even crazier. The way he grew a body inside of himself from scratch.
I am more intrigued by her than Teddy, though. May I examine your internal workings for a bit?
Now-chan, if you're going to touch anyone's internal workings, do mine!
God damn it, Teddy!
With all due respect, I shall have to decline.
Man, I don't blame her for going all quiet right now. I tap Labras on the shoulder, seeing that she's at a loss for words. When is Persona 3 available on Steam? It's actually available on Steam now. It came out on the 19th. I'm angry at Atlas. I've heard it has got some issues. But when I played through it, it's on my when I played it on my Temple Archive stream last week, I didn't really find anything particularly egregious. Let's see. I don't blame her for being all quiet right now. I tap Lapras on the shoulder, seeing that she's at a loss for words.
What's wrong, Lapras?
Oh, well, I thought that everyone would be angrier.
That's what I thought. But Lapras, you got it all wrong.
What would we be angry about?
Now that it's over, it wasn't all that bad.
Ooh, the battle to decide the strongest man was pretty intense, though.
I like to remind people that up until now, Kanji thought this was all a dream.
Huh? Is that what it was about?
Well, they may be taking it in stride a little more than is normal, but no one would hate you, Lapras.
I'll let them fix the bugs and stuff, and then I'll get them. Fair. Like, I think the major issue was that they adapted the PSP version of the game, and like that probably attributed to a lot of the problems it's having right now. Because they blew up a game for the PSP to the PC. That said, I do still hope that they have the answer chapter, at least eventually. Plus, that's what PS2. I can play it on an original version. Yeah, I have PSP. I have the PSP version of the game, as well as FES. Kanji just being Kanji. Yeah, he is rather adorable, isn't he? I have the PSP version of the game, and which is the one I was ready to play the most, but my PSP is broken. Well, they may be taking it in stride a little more than is normal, but no one would hate you, Lapras. Okay, so thanks for the alert. Lapras looks at each person's face. Everyone's smiling, aren't they? I'm not lying.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the hydrate, Rizzo.
Jeez, you're so formal. You can just call me Chie. We're friends, remember?
Friends.
You can just call me Yukiko, too.
I have to admit, I don't think, to be fair, I never read the manga spin-off, but I don't think Atlas has ever presented a robot character in P3 in the series yet that I don't like. Like, I absolutely I guess this is my favorite. Is my favorite character in P3. I love Metis that's where I eventually took my name. And I completely adore Lapras. She's my main in this game.
And you can just call me Prince Teddy.
That's longer than your real name, though.
Go back to the Wild Kingdom where you belong. Oh, would the carnivore like to join him?
What did you call me? Go back to the Disappointment Ranger Ressentiment hideout.
You've got it all wrong. Ressentiment is French. Mal is pronounced completely different from the man in Featherman.
It seems he's smarter than he looks.
I mean, he had to make it to the next grade somehow, right? Sheesh. We're wrapping up everything so well. Then Yosuke has to go on about stupid stuff. And we keep sniping at each other like this. Lapras is just going to pull back back into her shell, and we just got her talking. Or so I thought. Lapras bursts out into laughter. Yep. That alone warms my heart. The case is finally over. The realization is finally hitting me. As I sigh in relief, some more people appear behind us.
Like everything's working out nicely.
The red cape. It's Akihiko-san. Could the other two ladies with him be his friends? I sense Labras go tense next to me. That's right. He said that he was going to take her back. I step forward as if protecting Labras. Not that I'm making a scene about it, but just in case.
So you're Satonaka. Akihiko told me about you. I'm Mitsuru Kirijo. In a way, you could say that I'm Labras's handler.
A beautiful woman in the coat introduces herself. Kirijo? That sounds familiar. Didn't Akihiko-san mention that name too?
I'm Aigis. Thank you so much for saving my older sister.
Aigis, the best girl!
Older sister? Then are you Labras's younger sister? Wait, then are you a machine too?
Yes. I too am a robot.
Aigis-san smiles. I mean, technically, she might as well not be a robot at this point, but we'll not get into that. I take a closer look at her, and it's true. Her body is mechanical, just like Labras's. Wow, all these robot girls running around. This is so futuristic. Who in the world made something like them? Wait a sec. Kirijo? Does she mean the Kirijo group, Kirijo? That's a seriously gigantic corporation. And if that's her last name, then... oh, crap. These people are from a completely different world than the rest of us. I mean, not completely. I unconsciously stand up straighter. No, I can't lose my nerve. I have to make sure I stand my ground. I can't let them take Labras away.
Ton, it's okay.
Just as I open my mouth with resolution, Labras stops me as if she gets what I was going to say. She steps around from behind me. Really? There's no PS5 games with Robo Girls? Crime. Then she steps forward towards Mitsuru-san and the others.
You've come to take me away, yeah? I'm ready.
Labras?
Chie-chan, I can't ask for anything more. I've made so many friends. And you've all accepted me. I'll be okay now.
But if you're caught, that's not okay.
She went through so much pain, and we just became friends, too. Oh, Persona 5. I read that wrong, sorry. Yeah, that is true, but it's like... it has Futaba, and I adore her. Actually, technically, yeah, I played Persona 5. I have Persona 5 on PS4, and I beat that. I also played a bit of Persona 5 Royal on. I also played a bit of Persona 5 Royal on a Temple Archive stream I did. And I also have played Persona 5 Striker, since that was available for PS Plus. Though I haven't finished it. I'm going to have to get it on PC to continue it, though. Because I canceled my PS Plus prescription. To move over to Game Pass. She went through so much pain, and we just became friends, too. I want to spend more time laughing with her. I squeeze Labras's hand. Labras looks slightly troubled, a heart-rending face that looks like she might be crying and smiling all the same.
I'm sorry to interrupt the heated discussion, but I have no intentions of sealing you away.
Huh?
Your shadow going berserk was an irregularity caused by this world. It wasn't due to any malfunction in you. Luckily, because of what happened, you are now in complete control of your persona. Isn't that so, Akihiko?
Yeah, that's right.
Akihiko-san nods along with Mitsuru-san's words. Huh? But Akihiko-san wasn't there when Labras gained her persona. As my gaze is wandering, Akihiko-san glances towards me in a significant way. Could it be that he helped us out? Not only is he strong, he's so understanding. Yeah, she definitely is. He is a real man.
Not gonna be locked up?
Yes! I'm so glad for you, Labras.
This is like a dream. I can't believe this. Thank you, Chie.
And here we go.
Labras?
Labras suddenly stops moving. The way she stopped was odd. Akihiko-san and the others seem to have noticed as well, and they furrow their brows. That's when... Yep, because they gotta set up intrigue for the sequel. What was that? That wasn't Labras' voice. It is emanating from her, but it's completely different. Seeing this, Mitsuru-san seems to pick on something we couldn't.
Is this the same communication system we use? Everyone, step away from Labras.
Mitsuru-san raises her voice as Labras brandishes her battle axe. The metallic blade, it almost as tall as she is, gouges at the ground. Small chips of concrete brush past my cheek as the floor breaks up. That was close. I mean, what's going on? I look back at Labras in confusion, but there's no light in her eyes.
What the? I cannot gain access. She is being hacked. It isn't coming from inside this facility. The signal originates elsewhere.
You mean outside the TV?
This is just a little extra resistance. Now, entertain me.
The voice that comes back sounding like nothing. The voice that comes back sounds nothing like her original voice. Within the blink of an eye, Labras stashes towards me. There is no hesitation in her movement. If I don't brace myself, I'll be going down.
Why do we have to fight each other again?
One more battle.
Final. Fight!
Ow! 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 I haven't played this game in over a month! How am I doing so well?
My, she was quite easily defeated. Evidently, I didn't push her far enough. Well, she is a test unit, so this is as far as my little game goes.
That voice continues to emanate from Labras, who has fallen to her knees and stopped moving. So whoever is speaking through her is controlling her. So whoever is speaking through her is controlling her? Muscle memory? I guess so. How dare they treat her like some object? What the hell's wrong with them?
Why are you doing this to Labras?
It's tingling. As I yell in anger, Labras straightens up in an unnatural manner.
I should thank you all. Although this didn't work out, you did stay in to the very end.
Labras's shadow was only the mastermind of the tournament. I see now. You're the true culprit behind the whole thing.
That's right. Labras wasn't a persona user, she was a victim. The shadow should have appeared. The shadow should have appeared after that. Lawbringer, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How was your day? The shadow should have appeared after that. That means there was someone else who dropped Labras into a TV. Just like in last year's case. My day's been good. I had to push my stream into now, though. I had to stream... I usually stream earlier, but there's load shedding in my country, and it didn't allow for my usual time. It was someone who dropped Labras into the TV, just like in last year's case.
Indeed. It was I who stole Labras away. Since I don't have a persona and can't enter a TV, I needed a puppet that could run amok for me. Labras's persona was only partially awakened, so I had a feeling her shadow would appear if she underwent a little suffering. You got the better of me this time. You deserve to know at least that much.
This time? Are you still planning something?
Who knows?
What the hell? Labras has a heart. Do you even understand how much pain she went through because of you?
Seriously, what the hell? Labras is being controlled from some safe place outside the TV. How much suffering do they think she went through? How could they laugh when she's in so much pain? But the voice continues on, mocking me for not understanding.
A heart, meaningless. Whether or not she has one matters not at all to my plans.
What?
Well then, everyone, until we meet again.
The voice cuts out and Labras immediately collapses on the spot. Aiga-san instantly catches her and calls out to her, but Labras is unconscious. It's so weird to hear MC talk. Fair. I don't know what to do with my fists, so I begin swinging them aimlessly. We saved her, and she was so happy. Why did she have to be put through this?
Seems whoever our adversary is, they're connected to us. You shouldn't get involved in this any further. From here on, leave this to us.
Wait a sec! After what that bastard did to us, you're telling us to butt out?
I understand how you feel, but this is too dangerous for you. We will do our best to ensure that no harm comes to you. Trust in us and let us work.
But...
I'm irritated that I can't put my thoughts into words. I'm so irritated that I can't put my thoughts into words. Mitsuru-san may be right, but that doesn't do anything for my feelings. I mean, if some bastard's going to say that a person's heart has no meaning, I can't just let him get away with it.
Guys, let's leave this to them.
Huh?
I'm about to shout at Mitsuru-san, but Yukon stops me. We should get out of here, he said. I know what he is getting at, but... because I've been used to old Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, MC is not talking at all, and hearing him talk feels so weird. Yeah, that is fair. But they couldn't make you a silent protagonist throughout the entire game. Yes, I'm completely exhausted. I did fight in some seriously intense battles, one after another. And some of us, like Rise-chan, have been stuck in this world for so long that I'm sure we're at our limit. I mean, thinking rationally, I know that... Excuse me. I know that we need to go back home. Still... Seeing Labras unconscious in Aiga-san's arm wounds me. Isn't there anything we can do for her? Do we have to say goodbye like this? I look towards Yukon once more when he winks at me.
What?
When we return to the real world, all the energy that I've been empowering me so far drains away, and I begin staggering. Everyone else appears to be in a similar state, and we immediately go our separate ways without much discussion. I went straight home and fell into bed, but I couldn't get to sleep. All these feelings are swirling around inside me, and I can't sort them out. Sheesh. As I toss and turn in bed, my cell phone rings without warning. I look at it, but it's a number that I don't recognize. I should ignore it. But it does bother me that I'm getting a call right now. I decide to pick up. Lo and behold, the voice I hear is a telemarketer. No, it was Labras. The call said to me that at a certain location the next morning. When I arrived, I saw an amazing limousine parked on the plain country road. It's just, this thing is so long, it's insane. Even if this were a movie, it would have to be a comedy. Nobody would believe that a car this long would exist in real life. Can it even turn a corner? It's hard to see through It's hard to see through the windows of this ridiculous limo, but I can see four people who are just as remarkable as the car itself. Gonna go sleep, have fun in the world of Persona Metis. Good night, Rora. Thanks for the follow. Mitsuru, Labras had called me last night, and the people in the car were Mitsuru-san's group. Thank goodness, she did wake up after all. When I call out to her, Labras immediately gets out of the car. Mitsuru-san, Akihiko-san, and Aiga-san follow as well. Oh, and she's not carrying that axe on her back. I imagine that it would be hard to get into a car with that thing.
I'm sorry for calling you here all of a sudden, but they told me we'd be leaving already.
The follow-up is over, after all. Our work here is done.
I'm glad to hear that, Master.
Right. She starts calling him that.
Master.
Actually, I spoke a bit with Akihiko-san on the phone last night, too. When I thanked him for helping us persuade Mitsuru-san, all he said was, it wasn't anything special, I only did what was necessary. Damn, what an awesome thing to say. During that little chat, I became convinced that this person is what this person is striving for is very similar to my own goals. That's why I'm going to call him Master. I look up to him as an ideal, until I can match his strength and resolve.
I told you to stop calling me that.
No, you're my master. Though, I gotta admit, part of me has just always wanted to say macho things like that.
Yeah, because Chie loves martial arts films.
But you're not a man.
I mean, she isn't.
A true man isn't bound by his sex.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I see.
Just not in the way that he thinks he is.
Your leap of logic is so extreme it could reach the moon.
It's not that extreme. Labras giggles at seeing our banter. I can't help but smile as well. He sounds embarrassed, but maybe a little happy too. Still,
with them too, Labras?
To be honest, I wanted to be with her more. But if I said such things, it would just trouble Labras. So I swallowed those words. Labrador speaks to me and such things are going through my mind.
I decided I'm gonna work with Mitsuru-san and then I'm gonna find whoever it was that set you all up and catch him myself. I won't let any danger come to you guys. So, this is just a short farewell.
Labradus.
I feel like someone gripped my heart. Labradus has been through so much worse than we have. All the problems she had to face. Yet she's going to fight for us? Whoever this culprit is, they can't be allowed to get away with doing this to her. Hey Kronk, welcome to the stream. How's your day been? Labradus has such a kind heart. For them to treat her like such an object is unforgivable. My happiness for Labradus, my anger at the bastard who had controlled her, and my frustration at not being able to help, I feel tears in my eyes. Ah, you want me to switch the bait to the base, huh? Alright, give me a sec. Hello? Here we are. Avatar selection. There we are. Is that why you redeemed it? Because you wanted to see what the base was? My happiness for Labradus, my anger at the bastard who controlled her, and my frustration at not being able to help, I feel tears in my eyes. You know? I look down, not wanting her to see me cry, but a large chance slaps me on the back.
Your passion had a real effect on Labradus. You should be more proud.
Master!
A true man is only allowed to cry when he loses his wallet.
I mean, no, but...
Yes, Master!
That's a rather shallow occasion for tears. Did something happen to you during your trip?
Why do I suddenly want to do Akihiko next?
It's true that the mental scars one would face if one lost one's wallet in an unknown land halfway across the globe would be immeasurable.
Ah, there they are. Hey!
Our friends have gathered around us. Of course, so I had told everyone about the phone call I had gotten from Labradus.
I've stayed a little longer, you know.
You could.
Seriously, we got a whole week off and we didn't get to hang out at all.
It's truly a shame. Well, until next time.
No, I was saying that I that I kind of want to do Akihiko's story next because then we get to see what he went through.
Until we meet again.
That said, we have far more Persona 4 characters to go through right now than Persona 3 characters. Labradus is smiling, surrounded by all of us. My passion had a real effect on Labradus. That's what Master said, but I don't think... excuse me. I don't think it's entirely true. Labradus changed because of her own will. She seriously wished that... I can't say if right now, Kronk. It doesn't let me do that. You're trolling, huh? She seriously wished that she was understood. That's why her wish came true. I think that's all there is to it. Well, the thing is, I can't save manually in this game. I can only save at specific points. I think that's all there is to it. At Mitsuru-san's signal, the limousine engine turns on. It's time for them to leave. Labrys's face clouds over. Sheesh, looks like I gotta say something.
No, a true man wouldn't cry.
There's nothing wrong with men crying. Though you're not a man, trans or cis. At least not that's been revealed. You're a tomboy. I make a bright smile. Labrys also smiles, then enters the limo. As the car takes off, Labrys sticks her head out the window and yells loudly.
I'm really glad that I met you, Chie.
Oh, it's no use. I'm the one who told her not to cry. Labrys is smiling just like I told her. Looks like I won't be a true man today.
I'll see you.
There's nothing wrong with crying. After seeing them off, we held the long postponed reunion party for Yukon. We were all feeling a little down after having to say farewell to Labrys, but that immediately picked our spirits back up. Yeah, Kronk? We were so happy that everyone was able to get together like this. We thought that it was impossible, and there was no one more happy surprise. I did stretch. Also, this doesn't mean that we won't be able to see Labrys again. Well, you wouldn't really be able to see it on my model, but I am stretching. You're really spending those points. That doesn't mean I won't be able to see Labrys again. I stretch out and look up at the sky. Yep, Golden Week starts for us today. I don't have any nichas with me. Later that night...
Dear Akihiko-san, that doesn't feel right.
I crumple yet another piece of paper to throw it into the trash can. I just can't figure out how to start this letter. I'm not really good at writing letters.
Maybe it's too formal.
We don't have Pop-Tarts at my place, Kronk. I don't think Pop-Tarts are like a common snack food in my country. Maybe it's too formal. Although this How to Write Professional Business Letters article I looked up at online aren't very helpful. I take a deep breath and...
You, my master. Ooh, much better.
I don't even know what strudel is. I relax and my pen follows the wishes of my heart. I don't have the best penmanship, but I think it's a lot nicer to get a handwritten letter than an email.
How have you and Labrys been? I've been well. I've been doing my best while remembering what you said to me on that day.
I just love the jolted line reading because of work. Because she's writing what she's saying. Running out of ideas.
Do you remember? You told me that I would be able to do the right thing. That made me want to become a police officer even more. So in order to catch the culprit, me and the investigation team are... Oh, crap! Phew! That was close. I'm supposed to keep that a secret from him.
Eat peanut butter jelly. We don't have jelly, and it's rather late for me. Besides, not a redeem. We're going to find the one who has been using Labras. In other words, the investigation team is back in action. That was the big surprise that had come out at Yukon's party. Yukon himself was the one who suggested it, so we were all surprised. Seriously. He said, let's leave it to them right in front of Matsuri-san and the others. But it looks like Yukon had other plans in mind right from the start. Man, if he can be such a convincing actor, I can't go spilling the beans in a letter. But to lie to Master, no, I have to lie to him. I can't let him find out, no matter what. I crumple up the piece of paper again and throw it away.
This really isn't my thing. I'll give it another try tomorrow.
Blue 3? Is that a play on Bruce Lee? Let me fly down there to make sure you eat. I already ate. So you don't have to worry about that, Kronk. I will be able to do the right thing. I'm going to believe in those words and do my best to live up to them. I really want him to know that. Next to the letter, there's a police academy entrance exam guide. Yeah, it was a full-on supper. We ordered takeout tonight. I bought this a long time ago, but I haven't even touched it. I even got to face. I've got to face that someday too. When I look at the clock, I realize that it's already past midnight.
So sleepy. Oh, since Yukon's with us again, we've got to give what we decided on our best shot. Investigating on our own, huh?
I stand up from my car and stretch out, then fold in my bed. From my chair and stretch out. Why did I say car? It's so fluffy. I can't stop myself from immediately drifting off to sleep.
Do my best to.
My future. What do I want to protect? What I want to protect. An enemy we must fight. There's so much I need to think about. I'm not good at thinking, and there's probably going to be a lot of things that don't go as we plan. But I just need to concentrate on one thing at a time. I don't need to sound older. I am older. Even if something doesn't go well, no, I shouldn't let it get to me. Yes, because I have friends. I know I can go on.
Along with my friends.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 characters left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're only half done with the first game story. God damn. Let's see. It's 3 Persona characters, 3 Persona 3 characters, 3 Persona 4 characters. So I think we will go with Akihiko next. Before we do that, though, I want to try. I want to see something. Whoops! Didn't mean to do that. Display settings. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to take a bit of a bio break, and then we'll go on to Akihiko's story. All right, I am back. Let's go with Akihiko, because now you guys need to see what he was doing.
I'm a long way from home.
Ever since I left Japan, I've been constantly searching for places to test my strength. Before I knew it, I wound up on the ass end of the globe. As I walk down a dark alley, a dry wind blows. I can see people inside the buildings, but I don't sense any life here. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean that it's anything close to safe, though. Well, it just shows that not everywhere in the world is affluent. I sense a hostile presence from somewhere. I glance around and see two thugs smirking at me with narrowed eyes. Our gazes meet, and suddenly those thugs, a seedy-looking large man and a thin man, stand before me.
Yo, bro, haven't seen your mug around here. Lucky thing we noticed you. Come on, man, spare us some change. We just need a little, man. We'll double it in no time in that gambling den over there.
You're in my way. Move it.
The thugs are momentarily stunned by my answer, but their shock quickly dissolves into anger.
And we were being friendly. I should have pulled this on you at the start.
The large man's words produce a fusillade of spittle as he simultaneously whips out what he believes is his trump card. It's a gun. He waves the muzzle in front of my face in a threatening manner.
Like that, and you gotta resort to a gun? Pathetic. To begin with, do I really look like I carry that much money on me?
Aren't you Japanese? Most Asians stupid enough to come waltz around here are loaded. Come on, give me everything you got, or it's gonna be your brains on the floor.
The large man is quite short-tempered. I wonder if his mood swings are due to a lack of calcium in his diet. I guess you really don't get to choose what you eat when you live in a place like this. The large man apparently realizes that he can simply take my cash when I'm dead, and his fat finger squeezes the trigger before I can reply. A gunshot rings out and sends a shockwave through the alley's dry air.
Son of a bitch!
The large man stands stupefied. He recollects himself and throws a few more rounds my way.
What the? What kind of hit him?
It's because I'm dodging his shots, not the bullets. They obviously move faster than the human body. When a slow man uses a gun, the problem is that he has to point the gun where he wants to send the bullets, and I can see him doing that. And just reading his gun's movement and getting out of his line of fire before he shoots. I'm just reading his gun's movement and getting out of his line of sight before he shoots. It's that simple. And that's what I'm talking about. That is not the move of a musclehead. He is making logical steps to dodge these shots. I bet he thinks there's something wrong with his gun, or he is not aiming well. Some people. I think he's the embodiment of the phrase big head, little wit. He never realizes what's happening. I dodge his hail of bullets and quickly close the distance to my attempted murderer. I get a good look at his face, is contorting in fear and confusion. I strike once, burying my fist in his porcine gut. His body lifts off the ground for a brief moment before it collapses to the ground. The massive impact lifts a huge cloud of dust, and the man doesn't stir.
You should be more careful who you pick your fights with.
You bastard!
The thin man pulled something from his pocket. I hear a loud click of a switchblade being folded. You don't want to do that, dude. He drops into a crouch, coiled and ready to strike.
At least you know the basics.
The reprobate extends his arm and thrusts the dully shining knife toward me in a telegraphed attack. And check out the language he's using. I get inside his arm and swipe the attack and swipe the attack angle out of the blade out of the way with my right hand, striking my left hand and underneath his jaw. Since he attacks in the most obvious fashion, I repel the attack with the most obvious counter. The uppercut lands flush, and the man is cast into the air as he utters an undignified scream.
I gotta hand it to you for not abandoning your pal.
Sheesh. I didn't come on a journey to waste my time getting into scraps that don't even rate as a good warm-up. Though honestly, pretty much all that I have encountered so far in my training was a continuous morass of tedious quarrels. Now, up ahead, huh? I noticed that the dust from the fat man's landing has gotten on my cape, and I brush it off. This is the only mark that I took from the encounter. Bodily injuries will heal all over time, even if they're left alone. But the same can't be said about one's clothing.
Damn, that was impressive stuff.
Someone speaks to me out of the blue. I glance over to see a man who looks like a bartender, hesitantly emerging from a nearby bar. It seems he was watching the whole thing unfold.
What a fight! And against a man with a gun? Are you a ninja or something?
That's not important. Where are the police? I'd have thought all the gunfire would catch their attention.
The bartender responds to my bewilderness by laughing in an even more dumbfounded manner and shrugs.
Things like that happen all the time. The only authority here is the cartel. Everyone who's not connected dies in poverty. That's been how it works for over 50 years.
I see.
Those who are not connected. Upon hearing that, a bitter feeling wells up inside me. Everything in this world relies on connections, and connections are just another form of power. People say that it's most important. What's most important can't be obtained by power, but I figure that means the other 99.9% of everything is simply a matter of power. That includes one's lifespan. And at times, the lifespan of those close to you as well.
Hey, why not stop in for a drink? It's on the house. Seeing what you did made my day.
The bartender cheerfully snaps me out of my ruminations.
Sure? The cartel you mentioned might not like that.
Hey, I'll get off easy compared to you. All I did was offer you a drink, not beat the hell out of their goons.
A drink, huh?
Good stuff in stock.
The way he words that.
It's hard to obtain that certain something around here. I haven't had any for a couple days now.
Oh my god. Phrasing, Akihiko! Phrasing!
Actually, I'm starting to go into withdrawal.
Oh my god, Akihiko!
What is it you're talking about, mister? Listen, I run a clean bar.
Protein. I need a double shot of protein.
Huh? Pro.
Make it quick. It's only half as effective 30 minutes after I've burned some calories.
Sorry, I don't know that brand. Is that some kind of sake?
It's alright if you don't have any.
Sheesh, what am I thinking? You never know unless you try, but it was pretty stupid of me to expect a bartender in a dive bar like this, that a bartender at a dive bar like this would have protein drinks. I shake my head and collect myself. When I finally return to Japan, I'll have all the protein and my muscle fibers are crying out for. It sounds great just thinking about it. Mountains of protein as far as the eye can see. But my daydreams of what a world of infinite protein and would be like are interrupted. I take out my cell phone and see that I've received an email. There are 3 important things on the sub-display. The first thing is the icon that tells me that international roaming service is in effect. Second is the name Kirijo. And the last thing is the word urgent.
Looks like opportunity's knocking sooner than I expected.
I can't hide my smirk. The fact that the message urgent means that I'm being... The fact that the message is urgent means that I'm being summoned for a mission.
With me. I haven't found any opponents worth my time here anyway.
Plus, the training journey I'm on was preparation for all these missions. It was my way of showing that I would be suited for taking the special missions as a professional. It seems that either my plan is working, or this is fate telling me that the time to display my results has come.
I can't wait to see what kind of challenge there is in store for me now.
I imagine what this unknown enemy would be, and thrust my left fist proudly toward the foreign winds. I can't keep my body from trembling with excitement, and I plant my fist into my right palm. Early morning, May 3rd, Japan. After a flight that took over half a day, I arrive in Japan. Every time I fly, it always strikes me how cramped the seats are, and how dull it is to be on long flights. Considering that we're being placed in a hypoxic environment, and it's a way is not to equip the seats with pet decks, or give us access to some cardio equipment. As I head toward the arrival lobby, while thinking about my ideal airline, I hear something I haven't heard in a while. I hear something I haven't heard in a while. A newscaster reporting in my mother tongue.
Good morning. It's May 3rd, Constitution Memorial Day. Our top story today is an update on the hijacking 2 days ago.
And that was the hijacking that Iga stopped.
5 men attempted a daring hijacking of a domestic airline, the first such incident in Japan in the 21st century. Police began their official interrogation of the arrested suspects this morning. But all depositions have been vague so far, with suspects complaining of muddled memories. Psychiatric exams are being considered.
That must be the incident she mentioned in her email.
2 days ago in Japan, a jumbo jet bound for Kagoshima was hijacked by a group of 5 men. The hijacking attempt was quickly dealt with because of the hijackers' half-hearted planning, but there was a bigger issue. Unbeknownst to the public, the passenger flight that was hijacked was supposed to have a very important piece of cargo loaded onto it. During the confusion surrounding the hijacking incident, the cargo seemed to have been stolen before it was loaded onto the plane. The hijacking was just a smokescreen for the real crime. Using a hijacking as a distraction for a simple cargo theft is pretty daring, but it's also desperate and risky. My mission is to retrieve that cargo from whoever wanted it so badly. This isn't a situation that can just be left to an ordinary policeman. This cargo is extremely dangerous, and the retrieval has to be done discreetly due to its sensitive nature. I look away from the monitor and begin walking again. My cell phone immediately begins ringing as if the caller was watching me the entire time. The name Mitsuru Kurijo appears on the sub display. Mitsuru Kurijo. She is the one who summoned me here for this mission. I didn't tell her any details about my return flight, but she must have found the information on her own and called after learning of my arrival. She's still as prepared as ever.
It's me.
It's been a long time, Akihiko. I'm sorry to call you back on such short notice.
Don't worry about it. I was at a good stopping point.
Mitsuru has much greater understanding, a much greater standing in the group than I. But we've been classmates since middle school, and she fought alongside me in my biggest battle. I have a feeling that the only reason we were able to pull through such an ordeal was because we helped each other back then.
Who's our next enemy?
Don't be so impatient. You received the brief I sent you, right? What I didn't say directly in it is that the stolen cargo was from Ergo Research.
I figured it would be Kirijo group related, with you having to call me back.
Most ordinary people in Japan would have at least heard of the name Kirijo. The Kirijo Group. A large conglomerate, one of few within Japan that can boost a large market share overseas. That can boast a large market share overseas. Their influence is so ever-present that they touch many aspects of a typical citizen's daily life. Mitsuru is part of Mitsuru is part of that organization. In fact, she is the only daughter. She is the only daughter of its founding family. She grew up with untold responsibilities and expectations, and has been forced to navigate tumultuous social situations ever since she was young. That is why she has a refined personality, maturity beyond her years, and strong leadership skills. Although the same circumstances also expose her to the occasional surprise lapse into naivete.
What was inside this cargo?
The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris.
An anti-shadow weapon? Does that mean...
Yes, she's one of Aegis's sister units. She was sealed at the time of the robbery, but we think it's very likely that she's been activated by now.
Which means there's a good chance there'll be a fight. Alright. Yeah, this would be too much for the normal authorities. Sounds like it'll be right up my alley.
The man who ran the group 2 generations ago was Koetsu Kurijo. I hate that guy. He was the founder of the group and also Mitsuru's grandfather. Around 10 years ago, some research that she was working on brought about a huge distortion in this world. The forces that created that distortion were known as shadows. I guess the best way I could describe them would be to say that they are monsters incarnated of the darkness in people's hearts. In any case, there's something completely absurd. There's something completely absurd like that. Koetsu Kurijo used Ergo Research, a facility that would later be known as the infamous Kurijo Ergonomics Lab, to repeatedly perform inhumane experiments. He was artificially drawing out shadows in an attempt to gain powers beyond what mortal man would have. But the experiments failed during the final stages. What remained after a big explosion were over 50 casualties and a distortion in the world that can never be repaired. Normal people are completely unable to sense this distortion at all, and yet the same distortion would cause the entire world to collapse. 3 years ago, Mitsuru and I, along with our friends, devoted ourselves to a fight in order to end the threat of that collapse. The bonds and precious memories I gained from them are engraved upon my heart and haven't faded to this day.
Fighting is not our first option, but I'd be more reassured with you there. We have a general idea of where it was taken, the Inaba area, where there were reports of suspected shadow activity last year.
Okay, I'll meet up with you at the actual location.
Are you heading directly there? You never change. Let me know if you need anything and I'll make the arrangements.
Protein, that's all.
What? No, it's better I don't ask. I'll send you the precise location later. Sorry to call when you've just returned from a trip, but I'm relying on your assistance.
You went to a lot of trouble to create the Shadow Operatives. I won't do anything to tarnish the name. I'll see you there.
The Shadow Operatives. That's the organization I'm a part of. That should be should be one word. We're a joint task comprised of the Kirijo group and the police. Officially, we do not exist. Our main mission is to deal with shadow-related cases that the police are incapable of handling. Our objective is to prevent or minimize the collateral damage caused by shadows. Shadows can only be defeated by Persona users. Mitsuru, myself, and many of the members belonging to the Shadow Operatives have Personas and knowledge about them. Mitsuru is fully dedicated herself to prevent Kirijo's tainted legacy from falling into the wrong hands. That is her, no, it is the shared duty of all of us in the group. I noticed that I've unconsciously formed my hand into a fist. I have an email from Mitsuru giving me the details of the meeting location. As usual, she thoroughly planned this out. A smile appears on my face. An opportunity to use all the skills and strength I've been honing. I will commit every fiber of my being and to fulfill the duty I've been given, and I couldn't ask for more. Yeah, save there. The same day, afternoon. I arrive in Inaba earlier than I planned. There's a lot of time to kill before I need to be at the meeting. In order to get a feel for the town and what's going on, I decide to walk around a bit. From the looks of it, it's an ordinary countryside town. I can't believe that the people, excuse me, that people think a level 4 shadow-related case occurred here last year. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any disturbance going on right now. It looks like that unit named Labyrinth isn't running amok here either. As soon as I stray from the main street a bit, it's mountains and fields it's mountains and fields as far as the eye can see. The air is clean and traffic is pretty light, so the town has that going for it. This would be a great place to go running early in the morning. I wait for evening to come while exploring as much of the town as I can.
Most time.
My cape flutters in the wind, and as I shadow box and jog to the meeting area, an intersection on the outskirts of what this town will call its shopping district. Meeting up in a rural area like this is a bit of a tricky situation. Since the Shadow Operatives do not officially exist, we need to draw as little attention to our mission as possible. Hopefully, we can quickly join up and be on our way so that the residents don't take notice of a bunch of outsiders assembling in their sleepy town. Unfortunately, when I arrive at the meeting point, Mitsuru and the others are nowhere to be seen.
I doubt she'd run into any trouble she couldn't handle, though.
Could it be that I'm at the wrong place? There aren't any tall buildings to block my view, so I look in every direction. The only thing obstructing my view is a mountain of garbage that looks like it might be a scrap heap or a junkyard. I may as well be diligent and head over there just to make sure. I enter the area, and it is full of all kinds of junk. Cars and household appliances, large and small, are piled into small artificial mountains. I test my footing and begin to climb up the stacks of trash. Looking down, I spout a long black limousine that is completely out of place in this tiny town. I come to a realization and sigh.
Of course. They'd stand out no matter where they were, so they could only park here.
Two of my friends are standing by the limousine. A woman decked out in a fur coat and a mechanical girl. It's Mitsuru and Igus. Right before I call out to them, Igus does something bizarre. She extends her right arm toward the TV screen in front of her, and Igus's hand is pressed right through the screen. Is passing right through the screen. Her steel fingers aren't breaking the TV screen. They're definitely going inside it. Concentric rings of white light are rippling forth from where she inserted her hand.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
I don't understand how or why, but it seems that people can enter that TV. If that's the case, it would be the perfect place to hide stolen cargo. That makes things easier.
Sounds like fun.
The two of them look up, surprised.
Akihiko?
I
leap off the mountain of trash and land in front of them.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
I love how even she is like, what the hell are you wearing?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
I mean, look who's wearing like a body suit and a fur coat. I take a glance at Mitsuru, and I can tell she's summoning up her coldest stare. This clothing allows me to have much better mobility, but I don't think Mitsuru is going to listen to my explanation.
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Glancing at Mitsuru's clothing once again, I can't help but sigh. Since I had already voiced what I wanted to say, I decide not to make a comeback. Mitsuru simply shakes her head and sighs back at me. Seriously, this is what happens when you grow up in a wealthy family, sheltered from the lives that normal people live. I slam my left fist into my right palm. Igus's sister unit, Labris. He's apparently inside a TV located in an obscure part of a countryside town. I gotta wonder, what else could be waiting for us inside?
Aside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Mitsuru's at a loss for words. I know that I'm voicing my opinion more forcefully than she's used to, but it's what I have to do. I know Mitsuru well enough to sense that she needs someone to prod her into action. Wanting to exert control over every situation is a commendable trait, but in certain situations, waiting doesn't allow you to see any more control. And it also gives your opponent more time to prepare.
Target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
I lock eyes with Mitsuru and take a step towards her.
From how we used to be, we made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
3 years ago, I had said that it was my duty to help in the fight. But looking back on it now, I know that a lot of it was just for kicks. Seeing myself definitively become stronger and experience all that personal growth was incredible. Becoming stronger felt like it would satisfy some deep desire within me. And if I died giving my all against a really powerful opponent, I didn't really mind the thought of going out like that either. I was honestly fighting for myself more than anything else, but now, something has changed me. I wandered around the world and it was with something in the back of my mind constantly nagging at me. Something about not having a grasp of some part of myself. I know that I want power. The power to protect others. But that feeling has always been there. There's still something else, though. Something different. A few seconds of silence pass, then Mitsuru's eyes narrow. Her eyes are filled with a steady determination.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
Mitsuru heads toward the long limousine with a wry smile. I turn my gaze towards the most prominent of the illegally dumped TVs. As I reach out towards the screen, my fingers sink into it in exactly the same way Agas's did.
My fists are ready for action.
Excitement wells up within me as a reaction to the new sensation as a reaction to the new sensation I feel from my fingertips.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, they'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Labrys best girl. Not Labrys, Agas. P3 best girl.
No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Why enter the TV? What's going on?
And since we're about to enter the main crux of the game, when I open my eyes again, the first thing I can see is a high ceiling. To get my feet, I get to my feet and look around. Basketball hoop, a ground lined with white tape, and folding chairs stacked high into the air.
Is this a gym?
What I'm seeing now isn't matching what I'm expecting to be seeing. If my memory is correct, I entered the TV with Mitsuru and Igus. Is this what it's inside the TV? Then it hits me. This isn't reality. Everything looks extremely real, but I sense our presences nearby. I brace myself inside the oddly quiet gym. If I'm the only one here, I must be cautious. I'm alone? I suddenly realize that Mitsuru and Iga should be here too. They came into the TV with me, but they're nowhere to be seen. Did we get separated from each other as we were falling in? No, it's more likely that we were separated intentionally. Well, I don't really need to worry about them. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to handle anything in here on their own. Even if something does attack them, those two will just counterattack with icicle executions and machine guns.
This feeling in the air reminds me of somewhere, though.
I felt this harsh atmosphere before. I dig through my memories. That's right, this is what Tartarus felt like. The tower full of shadows where we did battle 3 years ago. Since this area is unfamiliar and I'm assuming hostile, there's no knowing when an enemy may attack. But waiting around to get ambushed isn't really my thing. It's time for me to get moving. Just as I think that... What in the world is that? A bizarre object approaches me from further inside the gym. It's red, blue, and round. On top of that, it's walking on 2 feet. I've wandered all across the globe to different regions, but I've never seen such a bizarre creature as this.
There's a weird guy in a cape.
Weirder still, it's able to communicate with me.
You think you've got the right to call me weird? You seem suspicious.
How rude! I'll say the same back to you. Being half naked and wearing a cape is totally suspicious. Could this be the pervert I've heard rumors about? My innocence is in danger.
God damn it, Teddy.
You're making no sense at all. Who are you? Oh, don't tell me. Are you a shadow?
Huh? I'm Teddy. Teddy!
So you are a shadow.
I just said I'm Teddy. Teddy!
No bear has fur that color. Or can talk.
How cruel! I'm an adorable, sexy beast, no matter what angle you're looking from.
Yeah, sure. Teddy? Teddy? Does that mean he's different from an ordinary kind of bear? Suddenly a monitor nearby springs to life. What appeared on it is also red, blue, and round. It's another bear thing, or to be exact, it was also Teddy.
I can't have you wandering about on your own. You're such a troublesome bear. You're the troublesome one! How dare you do whatever you want while looking like me? It's a violation of my image rights!
Violation?
What's going on? Are you twins or something?
Huh? I've discovered an unknown half-naked caped man! An intruder! Unexpected!
I think we broke him. Suddenly, the sound and image in the on the monitor get corrupted. Just when I thought that I was going to start figuring some things out about this place and those creatures. The screen flickers and dies out. Is this some kind of ruse? The monitor pops back on. Once again, it was Teddy's, this is too, confusing. I'm just going to refer to the TV bear as bear number 2. People in a lot of overseas cultures add suffixes like the second or the great onto their kids' names. And so I figure I'll go with something similar. I'm pretty sure the great is a title you earn. Or rather a title you earned in the ancient world. I'm in some crazy TV world, so I'm not just going to assume that these guys are Japanese. Like bear number 2 is going to care anyway. I've wasted enough time rationalizing this. Bear number 2's eyes gleam in a similar manner. He starts speaking clearly now.
04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Elimination, huh? I don't really have any clue as to what's going on yet. But I do know that bear number 2 is has just won the right to be the first one here to taste my fists.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but I've seen enough. Looks like you're the enemy here, bear number 2.
I'm not sure how much stock I should put in how much stock I should put in common sense while I'm in this TV world. But he's using a PA system. I'm guessing there needs to be some kind of control booth for it. Since I'm in some kind of school. That means that I'm probably going to find bear number 2 in the announcement room. If Labras isn't inside here, and if bear number 2 is running this whole event, he's got to have some kind of information about her. I turn to Teddy.
You, Teddy? He seems to be your enemy too. But why don't you step down and let me handle him?
I proceed to walk off in search of the announcement room, but...
No way!
What?
I mean, who are you? You haven't even told me your name. And that bear might be a bad guy who tricked my beloved sensei and friends. I can't leave this in the hands of a half-naked caveman like you.
Teddy looks surprisingly resolute as he refuses my offer. Does he have friends of his own that he's trying to desperately to protect too?
Your costume is strange. I do like that fire in your eyes.
What's that supposed to mean? It sounds perverted coming from a half-naked cave guy.
Look who's talking!
Hey, I have a name. It's Akihiko Sanada. You don't have to call me half-naked cape guy. And I know I can't prove I'm on your side just by saying so. So judge for yourself whether I'm worthy of your trust. In the ring.
You're that excited to do this?
Fists don't lie, you know? Now come on, and I'll give you everything I got.
I put my fists out in front of me and focus. If one does not face their cowardice, they cannot summon a persona. That's why persona users used to have to undergo the trial of holding an evoker to their heads. But that was simply a ritual to overcome psychological blocks. It isn't a requirement, and it isn't a required step in wielding personas. My resolution has always been within me, after all.
Persona.
I sense power rising from deep within me. That's seriously how this starts. At least we're changing it up a little.
Finally. Do it.
Yeah, as you can see, Akihiko is a boxer.
The intruder is a persona user. Difficulties in elimination. Acknowledging as valid target.
Pair number 2 is muttering something on the other side of the monitor after watching our bout. It seems that I've been officially promoted to the rank of valid target.
You talking about me? What do you mean by valid target?
Irregularity has occurred. Multiple intruders detected. Emergency. Emergency. Oh, I know! I've just had a fun idea!
Just as bear number 2 starts speaking like a normal person, the monitor suddenly cuts out. Seriously, who is this guy? One thing's for sure, and it's that I need information right now. I lean over Teddy's flattened body and slightly tap the back of his head.
Hey, Teddy, wake up.
No! Kanji! You're crushing me to death!
What's going through this guy's head?
Teddy, wake up!
I smacked Teddy a little more forcefully this time. I was worried that it might make him even flatter, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Looks like that did the trick. Teddy gets up using whatever weird stomach muscles he has and yells at me while I'm still in that flattened state.
If you hit me so hard, you'll ruin my beautiful coat of fur! And it's just Teddy, not Teddy!
This is getting to be a pain. Teddy purses his lips and looks away with a huff. I wanted to demonstrate my sincerity with my fists. There's no doubt that I did that. Then again, considering how badly flattened he is right now, I get this. It's understandable that he doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, maybe I went a little too far. Let me at least talk to you. I have important business here too. I need as much information as I can get.
Aren't you going to say sorry?
Don't push your luck, or I'll pull out all your fur.
I was just joking! Well, I am a knowledgeable bear, so I'll make an exception for you and listen.
Sorry about that. Hey, I'm the one who won. Where does he get off with this attitude? It doesn't feel right letting that slide, but I don't want him getting all pouty again. I take a deep breath and turn to face Teddy. I mean Teddy once more.
What kind of world is this?
It's the TV world.
Well, at least I was right about that. Teddy then went on to explain that there is a mysterious TV program called the Midnight Channel that only appears at midnight. That TV broadcast is caused by this world not inside a TV. It seems that Teddy is back to his original appearance, or rather, his original thickness. He's like a big stress ball.
That's hard to believe. But even if that's true, why does it look like this? Is this supposed to be a school or something?
This is probably the school that Yosuke and the others go to.
What do you mean, probably? You went there!
It's a real place?
This world changes whenever someone comes here. I'm not sure why it's a school now, though.
It changes when people come here.
I used to live here for a long time, so I saw it happen a lot.
You lived here? Well, does that mean you're from this world? What are you?
That's,
Teddy starts clamming up all of a sudden. He started getting nervous when I blurted out the realization that he was living in this world, and that he wasn't human. Embarrassed about being different from humans, huh? He definitely doesn't look human, but it's easy enough to overlook because he's able to easily carry on a conversation with me. And his fists definitely had heart. This immediately springs to mind. She's a machine, but she also has the same heart as a person. Though this Teddy may be some kind of costume creature, he must have a heart as well. That being said, he does look pretty stupid.
There's so much I don't understand. But I can at least say I'm pretty sure you're no threat.
Of course not. I'd never cause anyone any trouble.
If you know this world so well, does the name 5th Generation Labrys sound familiar?
I've never heard of it. Every day's great at Juness. I usually spend my time there. When I came to, I was locked up here. I managed to escape, though, only to find that an imposter Teddy was causing a bunch of trouble with his P1 Grand Prix.
He was bummed out not a minute ago, but now his face is bright red, and there's steam pouring out of his head. This guy is a real piece of work.
The guy who showed up on screen looked exactly like you.
He calls himself the General. But don't confuse me for that phony. The real Teddy is made of all natural bear fur.
If that was someone in disguise, there must be a reason he's trying to look like you.
Ooh, I know. It must be because he's jealous that Sensei and everyone love me the most. He's not 1/1,000,000th as cute as me. Anyone can tell he's a fake.
Yeah, it's totally obvious. I recall what Teddy said about the Midnight Channel earlier. Some of the things that happen in this world are broadcast to the outside world. If that's the case, then misinformation may be spread, and people could be confused or misled. At this moment, and I'm not sure why someone would be intentionally causing such confusion. But this Teddy guy mentioned that his friends were here. If Bear number 2 was in opposition to them, then it's not too big of a stretch to imagine that he's trying to turn them against each other.
One last question. You said you used to live here. You know how to get out?
Of course! That was one of my specialties. I always helped other people when they needed to leave. But it's not working here for some reason. I'm losing my confidence. This is one bear of a Ted-ache.
Whoops. Bad Teddy.
Ooh, that was an advanced joke.
This is no laughing matter. We won't be able to get out like this.
That wasn't advanced at all. Sheesh. He did give me valuable information, though. I now have somewhat of a grasp of the situation. My main objective is retrieving Labrys and escaping this world. I won't be able to accomplish either of these things as it stands. And all we can really do on our own is speculate. So bear number 2, the General, was it? I have to pound some more detailed answers out of him. All I need to do is keep moving forward. And if I'm going to move forward, I don't see the harm in doing it quickly.
That's it. You're coming with me.
I'm assuming that I'm probably going to need this guy's help getting out of here later, so I grab the back of Teddy's head and sprint forward. But as soon as I'm about to exit the gym, Teddy gets completely stuck on something.
You're gonna tear it off!
I look behind me and Teddy is wildly flailing his arms around. But I don't see anything holding him back. What kind of trick is this?
You almost made me lose my head!
Ignoring the huge fuss Teddy is making, and I reached over toward where Teddy is stuck. But I don't feel anything. I guess I'll just have to try again. I pull the back of Teddy's head toward me with my full strength. He's definitely stuck on something. For a moment, it looked like the zipper of Teddy's neck warped. Whatever, it's probably just my imagination.
Looks like there's a wall that I can get through, but you can't. What a bizarre place this is.
Says the half-naked cape guy who pulled at my head so hard it almost came off!
Well, I'll have to leave you here. Make sure you don't go anywhere alone, you hear me?
I can't burn any more time here. As I turn my back towards Teddy and proceed on, his yell echoes inside the gym.
I won't let you abandon me! I get lonely real fast! I'm coming with you!
Ow! An enormous crash reverberates through the area. When I turn around, I see a flattened Teddy fluttering to the ground, like a sheet of paper falling off a desk. He must have gotten a running start and slammed right into whatever is there at full force. Did he just run headfirst into an invisible wall without even thinking about how much it would hurt? Huh, this guy said that the general is an enemy of his friends. And because his friends are at risk, he can't just leave everything to me. His lack of regard of personal safety may be because he's so worried about his friends. He behaves oddly, but once you look past that, I can totally empathize with him.
Sorry. I'll come back for you when all this is settled.
I just hang tight. Just hang tight, Teddy. I know it's a tough situation. I hurry to where the enemy is. It's for my mission and for the sake of Teddy and his friends. When I step outside the gym, I hear a cheer from somewhere. The voices seem to be coming from inside the school's building. Did a large number of people come into this world? This place is supposed to be a world inside a TV, but this kind of seems like a real school. It feels like an event, like a culture festival or field day. There's still so much about this place that I don't know. There were many parts of Teddy's explanation that I couldn't grasp. I need first-hand knowledge. I need to see something with my own eyes. I step out to what looks like the school's main gate and check the nameplate.
Yasagami High School. I remember seeing that name in the report on Inaba.
So what Teddy told me was true. This place seems to be based on a high school that actually exists. But why recreate the high school building inside a TV? As I'm taking stock of my surroundings, a high-pitched girl's voice emanates from a nearby speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, what will the next match be like?
An abrupt and confusing school announcement. Cheers arrived from somewhere, seemingly in response to the announcement. I sense the presence of others, and when I look around, I notice silhouettes of humans that seem to be watching from all angles. Are they human? They certainly look like they're human, but I don't sense any life in them. No matter where in the world I went, people who were excited about a battle had a certain spark to them, and these guys don't have it.
Wow, this is one fired up crowd. Hi everyone, I, Rizette, will be your commentator. But first, the General would like to say a few words. The mic's all yours, sir.
As if answering the commotion, the monitor set up in the center turns. And it turns on. That General Teddy appears on the screen.
Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix!
Good God, the bear puns.
Presenting the manliest of all men! Oh, so you've come this far. I applaud your bravery in not running away.
Still hiding behind a monitor? It's about time you showed up in person. I'll crush you.
Nope, sorry, but I'm not falling for a cheap ploy like that. You better follow the rules. Allow me to explain. The P1 Grand Prix is a one-on-one battle. Those who are paired off must fight. Only the winner may move on.
Only the winner may move on? Then that invisible wall that Teddy ran into with his face must be part of the contest this guy set up.
Interesting. Who are you gonna make me fight?
A bizarre laugh plays, and the image on screen switches. What showed up next seemed like an odd commercial for a P1 Grand Prix. If someone produced a video like this for the event, does that mean everyone here is a willing participant? From the looks of it, they seem to be like ordinary students. I just don't think everyday students like this would be involved in the hijacking of an airplane and the stealing of Labras, but...
Who are they?
I don't have to answer that.
Sorry, but I don't have time to play along. I'm taking back Labras.
You are?
Huh?
The General on the screen looked shocked by my words. He being evasive or just laughing at anything I said until now. So, this obviously struck a nerve.
I think everything's gonna be that easy for you. You all should suffer, and then suffer some more!
I'm not sure what specifically antagonized him, but it seems like he definitely knows something about Labras. You think you can make me suffer, huh? Well, bring it on. I flourish my cape and head into the school building.
Easy, huh?
I think about what the General said a moment ago. Honestly, I can't really think about it too many times in my life when things went easy. I can't think of too many times in my life where things went easy. Growing up as an orphan, my memories of losing what was precious to me, I've never gotten too burdened by it, but I've constantly been pitied by others for my misfortunes.
I never expected it to be.
The pain of loss is my source of determination. I must stay strong in order to protect those who are precious and by my side right now. I proceed through the school building, and after climbing a number of stairs, I notice something odd. This place is bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. The hallways don't turn in the direction you'd expect based on how the outside of the building looks, and the way the classrooms connect with each other is bizarre as well.
This is what I'd figure another world would be like.
I reach towards an upcoming corner, and I come into contact with an invisible wall. I see. So this is what prevented Teddy from following me. I couldn't have done much earlier, but now But now I can actually touch it. I put all my strength into that strike, but the wall barely gave at all. If it shakes, that means it's taking some damage. If I keep attacking it, I may be able to break through a portion of it and pinch my way out. But I really don't know how much of this whole charade I can break through by destroying these walls. It wouldn't be a smart way of expending my energy. That's when something catches my eye, a window. When I reach towards it, the invisible wall doesn't impede my progress.
Whoever set this up only thought about blocking people's paths. Anywhere there already was a real wall got overlooked.
Yeah, this is exactly what Chie was seeing in her story. I'm not obligated to play the enemy to play by the enemy's gimmicks. If they want me to go one way, maybe I can gain an advantage by taking a route that they don't expect.
I'll just go another way.
I put my hand on the window's frame and jump outside. I land near a classroom that seems to be partly below ground level. Depending on how long this takes, we might stop at the next save screen, and the next save point. I look through one of the windows. Though the interior is odd, it looks like a music room. The window is closed, and it's still just a glass window. But it's still just a glass window. If this was a real school, I'd hesitate to do this. But hey, it's a fake world. I rear back and put my fist through the window.
Whoa! What the? Who are you?
There's someone else already inside the room. He's a well-built young man in a school uniform.
You're that guy from the video.
Did you just come falling from up there? What's going on? Answer me!
I remember now. You're the blood-curdling beefsteak emperor.
Hell no, come on! Did you even try to remember my name?
So that P1 Grand Prix thing has already started.
I recall the rule that those who encounter each other must fight. The general said that only the winner can proceed. I decide to see if those rules are still in effect and reach toward the exit of the music room. I feel the same wall I felt earlier barring my path. Same goes for the window I came from. It's irritating that I'll have to follow the rules and fight, but since the walls can't be easily destroyed, I've got no choice. I don't know what kind of circumstances this kanji guy's faced with, but if we're gonna fight, we might as well do it right.
Take off your clothes.
What the hell? How can you ask that straight out?
What's wrong with what I said? Would it be hard to maneuver wearing that?
Good lord.
Maneuver?
Why is he getting all flustered? His face is red. Maybe he's not feeling well?
What are you all flustered for? I'm talking about your jacket. If you don't wear it right, it'll get in your way during the fight.
Oh, my jacket? You just said that to begin with? No real meaning behind this. It's like, just the way I wear it.
It's plain weird.
The guy who's half naked except for a cape.
Seriously, you're ridiculous. It's bad manners to jump out a window like that.
The general makes a disgusted face and seems to be pretty upset with me mucking up his plans.
I've never been big on manners. Too bad things didn't go your way.
We'll see if you can keep that attitude up for long. You must fight whoever you're paired with. Now get started.
I understand that, but I can't attack someone who doesn't have the urge to fight. I turned towards Kanji to spur him on, but his expression is completely different than it was before. The redness in his cheeks is gone, and there's a fire in his eyes that almost seems murderous. Ha! Looks like there was no need for me to worry about me after all.
You keep saying the weirdest crap. Looks like I'll have to make you leave. Let's get this started, KB.
What, now you're interested? Alright, come and get me.
You're not really strong anyway. You're just a fake. Nothing worthy about it.
Oh boy.
What's that supposed to mean?
Shut up! Why not ask yourself that? Here goes.
Okay, we are going to do this fight, and then we're going to end stream.
Finally.
Ow! And that takes care of that. We'll have to continue. We'll have to continue this another time. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and it was good to get back to this game again. But I do want to like expand the Sunday playthrough just give a little more variety, since it's taking this long to get through the story. But I hope you all enjoyed. This is a great deal of fun for me. Before we go, let's set up for the raid. Neither Kyrie or anyone else I know is streaming, so I'll rate Hoshino. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. This is Metis Balaska signing out.